Distinguished guests, visiting Rotarians, and guest Rotarians, welcome to the Rotary Club of El Paso's meeting of May 29th, incidentally the last meeting of the month. To start us off, I've asked Dr. Don Dixon to come and lead us in a song or songs.
Thank you, President Rudy. We're going to do two tunes today. With your kind indulgence, we'd appreciate some participation. The first one we're going to do is My Country, 'Tis of Thee. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of thy pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside let freedom ring. I'd like to ask Tom Gunning, John Holland, step up here with me a minute. Saw a bumper sticker the other day. It said El Paso is in Texas too. And we'd all like to believe that. We're going to do The Eyes of Texas, which is not our state song, but to show that we have a lot of bipartisan support for El Paso as a part of Texas, I'm asking an alum of Texas University, Tom Gunning, and John Holland to help us do The Eyes of Texas. I negotiated this with John Holland and said we're going to print out the state song of Texas the first chance we get and learn that as a club. But today we're going to do The Eyes of Texas with my good help here. Fellas, you ready? Go. The eyes of Texas are upon you all the livelong day. The eyes of Texas are upon you. You cannot get away. Do not think you can escape them from night till early in the morn. The eyes of Texas are upon you till Gabriel blows his horn. Thank you, John.
Now we'll have Frank Stewart give us the invocation and lead us in the pledge.
Great is thy faithfulness, O God our Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. We praise and thank you, dear Lord, for your love and goodness to each of us and for our good land. Now we thank you for these who visit with us today. Bless them and us together in your service, and we'll thank you in his precious name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before I have John Holland introduce the guests and visiting Rotarians, I would like to tell you that on the way to the Rotary International Convention, we have the, it's the, not the president, but the governor-elect of Middletown, Pennsylvania. He has brought us his banner, and we, in exchange, would like to give you ours. Would you come down and receive the banner, Al Reidinger? He says he's district governor nominee for District 739. And Al, would you introduce your wife? Now I will call on John Holland to introduce the visiting Rotarians.
Normally at football games, etc., when I sing The Eyes of Texas, I actually sing I've Been Working on the Railroad. Tom caught me then. I didn't get away with it. We have one visiting Rotarian with us today. Let's give him a good round of applause when I introduce him. It's Lloyd McClellan, Aircraft Maintenance from Las Cruces. Lloyd, thank you for coming. Howard Goldberg has a guest. Welcome, Jim. Henry Taylor has a guest. Oh, there's Henry.
I have as my guest today a former member of this club who is now the Republican candidate for U.S. Congress. We hope that he will join the Rotary Club in Washington, D.C. Mr. Roy Gell.
Welcome, Roy. Denny Wagner has two guests.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, and Rotarians, it is my great distinction and my pleasure to introduce to you one of my guests, the one and only running for office of the county judge, none other than Joe Dillon.
Welcome, Joe.
Type of a fella, a lot more hair than I got, the one bank president. What's his name? Pope.
Welcome, Rock. Heard the story about this preacher that lived on the riverbank for many years, and the news came out that there was going to be a big flood, so he was standing out in his front yard watching the river rise, and a Jeep came by. And they said, the water's going to get higher. He said, we've come to take you to safety. Climb in and we'll take you away. And he said, well, you know, he said, I've lived a good life all my life. He said, I have strong faith. And he said, I think the Lord will provide for me, so no thank you. So they left, and the water kept going up. And pretty soon it was in the yard, and he was up on the porch, and a boat came by. And they said, the water's going to get higher. Said, we've come to pick you up, hop aboard. So he said, well, you know, I've lived a good life. I have strong faith that the Lord will provide for me, so no thank you. So they left. The water got higher. He got up into the house. He got up on the roof. Pretty soon a helicopter came by and dropped a ladder down. They said, we're here to take you to safety. The water's going to get worse. And he gave them the same talk about his faith and his life. And so he said, no thank you. And so they left. So sure enough, the water came up and the preacher was drowned. And, of course, he went up to heaven, and St. Peter was at the gates, and St. Peter says, well, we've been looking for you. Come on in. So he said, well, thank you, but he said, I want to tell you I'm plenty hacked. He said, I've lived a good life, I had strong faith, and then yet I was drowned. And St. Peter said, well, we sent a Jeep, boat, and helicopter for you. What'd you want? Thank you.
Well, that's better than last week's. I'm going to give most of the program over to the Youth Appreciation Committee, but I'd like to make a couple announcements. For the month of June 5th, we'll be still meeting here. I won't be here. I'll be at the Rotary International Convention, but Merv Moore has said that he would take over. Now, on the 12th of June, we will be meeting at the Westin Paso del Norte. We have put out slips so that all of you Rotarians that will make it, please advise Jackie. We will need to have a good count. June 19th, we won't be here or at the Westin. We'll be at the top of the inn, Holiday Inn, downtown, right here, a couple blocks from here. And then June 26th is the installation of the new officers. We'll again be at Westin Paso del Norte. Now, we'll have the telephone committee also active for those of you that do not put a preference today, because we do have to have a correct count. And since we're moving from one place to another, we would like to have all of you say yay or nay. Now, to introduce our program, Art Nibbling, who has been chairman since Joel Kuntz left. Art Nibbling.
Thank you, President Rudy. Boy, it's a good thing that this is the last meeting of the month. I didn't know whether I would make it or not. I've done a lot of preparation for this meeting and getting all these people here, and now it's my turn. So if I miss anybody in my thanks and my introductions, sue me. It's really good to, as far as I'm concerned, it's really good to be in charge of this program, because there are so many sterling students here, and we're going to give credit to their scholastic abilities rather than their RBIs or their foul shot percentages or their touchdowns and yards gained. This means a lot to me. I think that it probably means a lot to all of us, because these are the young people today that will be our leaders tomorrow. And with apologies to Billy Stevens here, who's done it both ways, we are looking to this type of young people to make our future perpetuate. The first thing I like to do is to call upon the representative, our Rotary representative at each table, to introduce the parents of each student and principal, and in some cases we have superintendents of schools. Richard, there's a mic down there. If you will take the mic and introduce your people at your table there and pass the mic on down to Billy, then.
I love to use a microphone. At our table from Clint are Mr. and Mrs. Bill Scov and their son, William, who's the honor student from Clint High School, and their principal. I got to see the name tag. Julian Shaddix, and I didn't mean to slight you, but I just forgot. I passed this on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is he going to reach on?
Yeah.
There's plenty of.
Well, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. and Mrs. Robert Belmont, sitting right here. He would stand up and run around for you, but he's got a broken ankle from the other day. Or their son, I should say, Brian Belmont, who is a graduate now of Radford High School, right here.
From Bel Air High School, we have Nancy Navarrete. No, excuse me, from Bel Air, we have Nancy Navarrete, who was the student Rotarian in the month of November. Would you please stand, Nancy? And with her, we have Mr. and Mrs. Felipe Navarrete and Howard Acock, the principal. Also from Bel Air, we have Joe Amendades, the assistant principal. Would Joe please stand? From Austin High School, we have Eddie Zavala, who was our student Rotarian in January. Would you please stand, Eddie? And his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Edmundo Zavala. Would you all please stand? And the principal of Austin High School, Aubrey Cherry. Another dignitary from the school system who was supposed to be with us and who had to withdraw at the last moment is Dr. Jim Hensley, who is the superintendent of Isleta Independent School District. But in his stead, he has sent his representative, Martha M. Dominguez. Martha?
At my table, I have the pleasure of having Joe Molina, who was a student of the month for April from Isleta, accompanied by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Caleb Molina, and Mr. Enriquez Rodriguez, who is the assistant principal. We also have Maggie Cintron, who was our student of the month for May from Jefferson, accompanied by Mr. and Mrs. Alfredo Cintron. Would you please stand, please? And Mr. Henry Valenzuela, the principal of Jefferson High School.
At my table, it's my pleasure to introduce from Hanks, Angie Meniz, student of the month of February, accompanied by her mother, Mrs. Donald Meniz, and the assistant principal, Ms. Wanda Howard. Will you please stand up, please? And from Bowie, the student of the month for March, Blanca Flores, accompanied by Mr. and Mrs. Juan Flores, the parents, and the assistant principal, Patricia Mulhoff.
Okay. Well, they are the guests that are sitting in front of us. And at this point, I would like to call on Ron McLeod, who is also a superintendent, as you know. As the members know, Ron will assist me in giving out the awards to the students. Now, I'll call the names, and as I call your name, each student, would you come up to receive something from the superintendent. Ron also has a few more remarks about these gifts.
The Rotary Club of El Paso, in recognition of these students, would like to give a small gift to them, something we have not done in the past. It's a $100 check, just something to try to get you out of town so that you can start college and buy enough gas maybe to get back if you get in trouble. But we feel very honored to have you as a part of our organization today, and we look upon you with great pride as individuals.
The first student that we have is Alistair McPhail is in Miami, Florida, at the High Q contest. He naturally couldn't be here to receive it, and his principal, however, is going to receive it in his place. And Mr. Cortez?
On behalf of Mr. Cortez, I'll take care of that.
It's okay. Ron can't cash that check, I'm sure.
Just here to help.
The next student is Brian Belmont from Radford. Nancy Navarrete. Nancy is from Bel Air High School. From Clint, we have William Scove. William? Next we have from Austin, Eddie Zavala. And from Hanks, Angie Manise. Here, don't I get to shake your hand? Congratulations. From Bowie, Blanca Flores. Okay, Frank, it's your table now. Ysleta High, Joel Molina. Did I pronounce that right? My predecessor, chairman of this committee, was, as all your Rotarians know, Joel Kuntz. He pronounced it Joel, and I had no problems. From Jefferson, Magdalena Centrone. Congratulations. Thank you, Ron. Now the next on our schedule here, I think, is I call on Dr. Uxer to do some preliminary introductions of our people that haven't been previously introduced, and then to introduce our principal speaker. John?
Thank you, Art. Preliminary to introducing the speaker, I would like to introduce 2 or 3 people. Jill Shaw, up here at the head table, is the Communities and Schools Project Director in the Governor's Office in Austin. And then my secretary, Ann Ardavino, who does a lot of the footwork and the groundwork for this place. And then we have with us DPS Trooper, Department of Public Safety Trooper, Ted Johnson. Ted, would you stand? Ted is in the Executive Security Section in Austin with the Department of Public Safety. And DPS Ranger, Buster Collins. You know, and he's stationed here in El Paso. I wanted to be sure to get those designations right, because I understand there's a difference between a trooper and a ranger. It's kind of like in the Army. You know, I'm infantry in the Army, and I don't like to be confused with those subordinate branches like air defense and, you know, and all of those. So I'm sure that same thing applies over there. Also, in terms of right nomenclature for people, or right name for people, a lot of us make mistakes. As a matter of fact, the media occasionally makes mistakes, and the media made a mistake today. Richard, Julian Shaddix is a superintendent, not a principal, and there's a difference. Because one of the highest priorities of Rotary clubs in general, and of this Rotary club in particular, is the support and encouragement of our youth and the development of leadership and citizenship and scholarship. You know that the bulk of our program of service for this Rotary Club focuses upon youth-oriented activities. Included in those activities in our club are such programs as RILA, the Drug Abuse Prevention Program, Children's Christmas Party, Rotaract, Junior Scholars, International Youth Exchange, and of course this committee, the work of this committee, the Youth Appreciation Committee. And at this annual occasion, when the Youth Appreciation Committee presents the student Rotarians of the month for this year, along with their parents and with school representatives, we try to obtain the most outstanding and the most highly recognized speaker in the country. This year, we're successful almost beyond our expectations. I don't know of anyone in the country who has a better insight into or can provide a greater challenge to both the student Rotarians, the students, the school people, and the parents as well, as the First Lady of Texas. And I say this for several reasons. First of all, Linda Gale White, if I can be so informal as to call you Linda Gale. Linda stood side by side with the governor as he has made education the very top priority in his administration. And parenthetically, I might add at this point that the governor has taken some heat for some things that he doesn't deserve. For instance, the no pass, no play rule. While it's perhaps a little bit more severe than some of us would like, nevertheless, the governor has stood firm on the fact that the first priority for education is teaching of reading and writing and ciphering. And I think most of you students will agree with that, where he doesn't say that that's all that's important, but that's the primary focus of education. And he stood very firm on this, and I admire him for it. Second, she's a certified teacher. As a matter of fact, she's going to be taking the TCAT in July. So she's a certified teacher. She was graduated from Baylor University with a degree in business administration and taught at Johnston High School in Austin and Westchester High School in Houston from 1966 to 1970. And in third place, she is a businesswoman. She began a career in real estate in the mid-70s, and she maintains a current realtor's license. Another reason is a dedication to community service that dwarfs even our most aggressive committees in our Rotary Club. For instance, she has made public support for child abuse and other family issues a priority in her activities. She is honorary chairman of the Children's Trust Fund. She was the keynote speaker at a series of conferences on the prevention of child abuse, which were sponsored statewide by the governor's office in the fall of 1985. She has worked to provide Texas teachers with a manual to help them identify the signs of child abuse and aid its victims. And I'd like to say parenthetically here that we at the Service Center have a team that has been especially trained in this area and will be using part of her publications and her television extracts in that training this fall. She serves as honorary chairman of both the Pebble Project, a Travis County initiative to combat child abuse and neglect, and the Texas Coalition for the Prevention of Child Abuse. She was recognized at the 7th Annual National Child Abuse Prevention Conference and received the Administration for Children, Youth, and Families Commissioner's Award for Texas in 1985. She's a member of the Board of Directors of the National Child Care Action Campaign. She is the honorary chairman and spokesperson for Texas Communities and School Program, a project of the governor's office designed to keep high school students from dropping out. She serves on the advisory councils of Family Outreach of America Incorporated, the Casey Foundation Foster Family Program, and the CAVE project of the Parenthood Education Committee of the Texas Mental Health Association. She's the honorary chairman of the City of Austin Sesquicentennial Program. She serves on the board of directors of Austin's Paramount Theater and Access for Youth Program. She's going to be conducting hearings throughout the state beginning in June, and as a matter of fact, she told me a little while ago that she's going to start those hearings here in El Paso next week perhaps, or week after next, in which she'll be visiting with teachers primarily in trying to gain information that will result in potential legislation affecting funding, career ladder, teacher appraisal, discipline, and paperwork, which, as you know, are some of the major concerns of the teaching profession. Perhaps one of the greatest qualifications, however, of Mrs. White's to address this group today is that she and the governor have 3 teenagers. Well, 2 teenagers and a daughter, 11, whose name is Elizabeth, and if she's like my granddaughter, who's 11, she already thinks she's a teenager. Then they have Wells, who is 15, and Andy, who is 13, but he's having a birthday 2 weeks from Saturday. So I'd appreciate it if you would join me in giving a rousing El Paso welcome to the First Lady of Texas, Linda Gale White. Linda?
Thank you very much. That was a complete introduction. Thank you. That was a complete introduction. Thank you, John. I just want to say one thing, Ron. Mr. Cortez is a personal friend of mine, and I can take that check to him. I don't want you to forget it. No. Let me say at the outset how much I appreciate the invitation to address this gathering. It is a wonderful experience to be a part of an event which recognizes students in a community. And I want to extend my congratulations to these 9 student Rotarians. To Alistair, who is in Florida, we wish him much luck and success. And to Brian, to Nancy, William, Eddie, Angie, Blanca, Joel, and Magdalena. You epitomize all of our aspirations for an educational system that develops scholarship, citizenship, and leadership. And what a thrill it is to see so many outstanding students in one room. It really makes us feel confident about our future, and I am very proud of all of you today. I congratulate you wholeheartedly and wish you much success, a happy summer, and much success in your coming years. You know, as we said, I taught school from 1966 to 1970, and that was not a long time, but it was long enough for me to gain a true appreciation for our educational system. Mark's mother taught first grade for 30 years. So Mark grew up in a home where education was an everyday topic of discussion, ranging from paperwork. Back then also, teachers were head over heels involved with paperwork. And the discussions ranged from principals to parents to students and also to the pressures of teaching. And perhaps because his background has been so influenced by education, Mark has held one goal above all the others since entering office. And let me just say that I believe we thought that goal could be reached a little easier than has been the case. But the goal has never been obscured because the road got a little rocky. The issue of an improved educational system has always been uppermost in the hopes and the aspirations for this administration. Therefore, it is very rewarding that now schools and education are the topics of conversation at business clubs and in the beauty parlors, on the city bus and in the corporate jets, during coffee breaks, and also during the cocktail hour. Our school children and our schools have moved from the sports pages to the front page of newspapers all over this state. Not only was school law changed by House Bill 72, but the legislature raised taxes to pay for these changes. And in doing so, they put millions of dollars into schools in Texas that otherwise would not have been there. Other states have attempted similar reforms, but none have committed the amount of resources or raised the revenue which we did. Whether we know it or not, Texas this year has been the envy of the nation on education reform and the amount of dollars put into education. And when we make this kind of major investment of time and dollars in our educational system, we never know how many lives are going to be changed for the better. But we do know that our economy is now shifting and that the future will hold increasing career and job opportunities which are accessible only through a high level of education and training. That realization is being driven home every day now as this state experiences the hardship resulting from low oil prices abroad. Today, Texas is in a transition. We've gone from a rural state to an urban state, from an agricultural economy to an industrial economy. And now, still another economy is emerging. An excellent education system will be the key to our success in dealing with this transition and in being able to compete in the emerging economy. Some experts are already saying that unskilled jobs will become fewer and fewer as automation results in higher productivity. If that is the case, then skilled workers will be the only ones to have access to many job opportunities that will be offered in the future. And the basis for that skill will be the education which today's students are going to receive in public schools. Those students will need the ability to switch jobs several times in the course of their careers. Whatever these jobs may be, retraining at one time or another will be required. And that retraining will be successful to the degree that our educational system has prepared students with basic skills and understandings. For it is this common base of knowledge that forms the foundation for further learning and for the ability to adapt to quick changes. In the future to which we are racing, an age of information, an age of technology, an age of computers, our citizens must be capable of adapting. But I am convinced that we are going to be prepared. Although Texas has in the recent past ranked low in national standard education surveys, the facts show that Texans have always emphasized the importance of learning, and we still do. And we are taking steps to reverse the downward trend which has been allowed to occupy our attention. Today, we are witnessing a revival of public education. A new spotlight has fallen on education, a spotlight that is encouraging the attainment of new heights by the young people of our state, a spotlight that underscores the importance of teachers to our society, a spotlight that challenges the citizens of our state to support public education as the very first priority of our state government. The reforms of recent legislation, combined with initiatives such as the Communities in Schools program and the Youth Opportunities Unlimited program, will provide Texas with one of the most prominent educational systems in the United States. Anything else would be remiss for the citizens of the third most populous state of the Union. As Texans, we pride ourselves on striving to be the best and the biggest. But if we demand excellence, if we will have the best, then we simply must insist that students receive an education preparation that is unparalleled in our nation. You know, there was a time, beginning with the birth of Texas, when cattle and cotton reigned supreme in our state. And there were those who believed that that economy would always dominate Texas and its citizenship. Yet we also had visionaries who knew that times would change. Those early leaders like Austin and Lamar insisted on founding an educational system to help Texas and to help Texans change with the times. And change we did. Soon the oil barons were making Texas history and guiding our state through the 20th century. But still, leaders in step with the future called for a recognition of the importance of a sound system of public education. Oil and gas remain an important resource to Texas, as do our agricultural interests, but it is clear today that the most important asset that we possess is our people. Today, a scant 14 years from the 21st century, we see clearly that the new leaders of our economy will be our teachers. Each day, they stand before a class filled with potential spindle-tops. What our future will be is limited only by the support that we as lay citizens bring to our educational enterprise, and by the challenge our teachers are able to bring to our students. The next time you are in a school, I want to ask you to do one thing. Look into the eyes of those young people in front of you and ask yourself the following questions. Which one of these students will discover the cure for cancer? For it is in Texas that life-giving cure will be found. Which one of these students will develop the next generation of computers? For it is in Texas that such a breakthrough will come. Which student will find the way to turn arid land into a productive field to help feed the hungry of the world? Texas will lead the way in this accomplishment. Which boy or girl will tap technology to reach the vast stores of oil still remaining beneath our soil. It is this state which will provide knowledge to unleash vast productive fields, freeing our nation from the whims of foreign energy cartels. Which one of these students will lead in the exploration of space and the unparalleled research effort associated with the newest frontier? Texas, already the site of many space initiatives, will occupy the premier place in our nation, reserved for those whose vision and preparation take them to the zenith of success. The rewards of a system built on excellence, equity, challenge, motivation, and support are evident for both the individual and for our society. But whose choice is it to decide whether Texas, one of the most dynamic states in America, strives forward or drops idle? Whose choice is that? If we have learned anything in the last 150 years, it most certainly is that choice is ours. As you congratulate these students today, let me encourage you not to slip for an instant in your goal of nurturing fruitful minds and powerful ambitions. For it is in our hands that the future blooms. It is in our vision that tomorrow is made better. And it is in our effort that the difficult becomes easy and that the unachievable becomes reality. As parents and as citizens and as members of Rotary International, we must all understand the advantages of education. We must understand that the hallmark of a productive and lively society is in its attention to education. It falls to us to demand the best for today's students, and it falls to us to provide the best for today's students. If we have the political courage and the personal stamina, if we persevere with understanding and with empathy, then I am confident that we will meet today's challenge and stride confidently into the 21st century, fulfilling the promise of Texas for this generation and for others to come. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mrs. White, the Rotary Club of El Paso is indebted to you for your taking time out from your busy schedule to come and address our club as well as these exceptional students. I'm sure that these students will long remember May 29th, 1986, when they not only were recognized by our club, but were addressed by Texas First Lady. We have in our club a very noted artist, and in order for you to remember our club, I'm going to give you one of the Bill Colliker's etchings. It is The Educator.
Thank you.
I still have applications for the Rotary Convention. Harry Husband said not to forget to mention them. Anybody that wants them, I'll have them here. With no further thing before us, we'll stand adjourned.